Alright, here's the question of the day. What if the mysterious creator of Bitcoin suddenly decided to sell all his coins worth $140 billion? Hello, welcome to the Founders Code today. We're diving into a fun what-if scenario in the crypto world. And like always, this is just food for thought. This is a super interesting topic, but let's get right into it. First of all, quick reminder. Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? We still don't know who created Bitcoin. They hold about 1.1 million BTC, and those coins haven't moved in over 10 years. The last Bitcoin transaction was in 2013, but we can track every coin easily. And we know that there is a wallet address containing 1.1 million BTC. That right now is worth $140 billion. And this is one of the biggest what-if scenarios in crypto history. So many questions. Why is this wallet untouched? Is this really Satoshi? Will we ever find out? Could this wallet be compromised? And then the million-dollar question, what if this wallet suddenly woke up and started selling all 1.1 million Bitcoins? This video isn't financial advice. These are just some random thoughts. And by the way, at the time of this recording, Bitcoin is trading at $45,000. It has been as high as $69,000 and as low as $29,000 over the last few months. Bitcoin's wild. That $140 billion can shift. Okay, that's just a disclaimer out of the way. Let's play this out. What if this wallet holder, Satoshi Nakamoto, whoever it is, they said, you know what? I'm done. I'm cashing out. Now we know that $140 billion is a lot of money. Tesla's worth about $1 trillion, so $140 billion is just 14% of that. It's more than the GDP of Ireland. So $140 billion is a lot of money. Now obviously there's no chance that Satoshi sells all of his coins in one fell swoop. But what if he did? What if through some miracle of technology or a team of hackers or something, all 1.1 million BTC were sold in one day? What would happen? Well, the short answer is everything would change. Bitcoin would go to zero. Sorry, I'm just kidding. Bitcoin would drop to like $10,000 or $20,000. And in fact, it would probably drop even lower than that, because there's another 2 million Bitcoin in cold storage, meaning that if we add those 2 million to the supply, then that would make each Bitcoin worth around $70,000. Let's be real. If Satoshi Nakamoto decided to dump all his coins tomorrow, it wouldn't be good for the price, right? There's no way around it. It would suck. But after the dust settled, would anyone care? Let's dive into this deeper. So first of all, if Satoshi sold all his Bitcoin, it would immediately cause panic. People would lose billions of dollars. Coinbase and exchanges would go bankrupt. You know, people would freak out. There would be worldwide news headlines. Bitcoin to zero after creator sells all his coins. And governments would step in. They would freeze accounts, talk about stricter rules, etc. You know the drill. But then something really interesting happens. We would see an immediate crash across the entire crypto market. Altcoins would plummet, stablecoins would lose their peg, and DeFi protocols would go down. Basically, anything related to crypto would get crushed in the short term because the narrative would shift from cryptocurrency is the future to cryptocurrency is dead. However, what would be the impact on traditional markets? Does the creator of Bitcoin dumping all his coins affect the Dow Jones or Nasdaq? Actually, yes, it could. Over the last few months, we've seen correlation between Bitcoin and stocks rise dramatically. And just recently, when Bitcoin was hitting all-time highs, so were US stocks. A lot of retail investors are holding both stocks and crypto. So if Bitcoin drops 80 or 90% due to this black swan event, it's likely that other markets would feel pain too. But it's hard to say because this has never happened before. From a psychological perspective, this would be huge. Trust would be lost. People would think that if the creator of Bitcoin just bails, then the whole thing must be a scam. And the worst part is that it would be hard to argue against that. Imagine seeing Satoshi sells all his Bitcoin versus Satoshi is gone forever. Which narrative do you think would spread faster? Which narrative would scare people more? After the dust settled, after the chaos ended, then maybe people would start saying things like, you know what, at least Bitcoin had a head start. At least it lasted longer than other projects. But the damage would be done. Crypto would enter a bear market that would last years. It would take years for people to forget about this. And we'd be lucky if crypto survived at all. If Satoshi did sell all his coins, the short-term effects would be devastating. Bitcoin would crash, exchanges would implode, billions would be wiped out and traditional markets could get affected too. However, this is where things get interesting. Could it be positive long-term? Maybe. Here's the counter-argument. Yes, the initial crash would be brutal, but after that, Bitcoin would become truly decentralized. There would be no fear of a Satoshi whale or someone dumping all their coins. In fact, we could even celebrate that. It would be kind of cool if we knew that Satoshi was out there, that they created this thing, they gave it to us, and then they left. I know it sounds weird, but think about it. Satoshi created Bitcoin, built the foundation, made the project open source, and then disappeared. Could that be their plan all along? I mean, it's unlikely, but it's not impossible. And what if their mission was to leave us a truly decentralized currency? A currency without a central authority, a currency where no one person controls the majority. Maybe the sell order was their way of giving back, their way of disappearing permanently. We don't know because Satoshi has been gone for 11 years. The last post was in 2010, and we have no idea if they'll ever come back. Some people believe that Satoshi is already gone forever and will never interact with Bitcoin again. Some people believe that Satoshi is still around and may come back in the future. In my opinion, I think that if Satoshi did come back and did start selling their coins, it would definitely cause chaos. It would be bad for the price in the short term. It would lead to a crypto winter that would last years, but in the long run, it could actually be positive. We could prove that Bitcoin is truly decentralized, that the creator doesn't care about price, and that they put the community first. At the end of the day, we don't know. This is pure speculation. This is just a fun, what-if scenario. Do you think Satoshi will ever sell? Or is he gone forever? Comment below. Let me know your thoughts, and please subscribe and share.